of people have come out to this. We are going to try out one of those events right now. We have our own officer, Angela Sands, in the dunk tank. Let's see if we can get it. We watched them pull a woman and her 2 dogs out of that freezing cold water. That woman and both dogs are okay, but she says this is an experience that's changed her life forever. Rod and Megan, I'm here at the Single Barrel. Many of the Democratic candidates have gathered to watch as the election results come in. And speaking of those results, we are here with Lyrian Gaylor-Baird, one of the candidates for mayor, who has about a 2,000 vote lead over Cindy Lamb. Lyrian, just how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling so grateful. We have so many wonderful folks here tonight and so many people in the community who've made their voices heard. I am so grateful to our volunteers and supporters and my family. It's a wonderful night.
And now the results are not final yet, but it's looking pretty good that you will be in those top 2 who move on to the general election. What are you hoping to do within the next month before that election?
We're going to keep working hard and speaking to residents, talking to friends, family, and neighbors about our message of ensuring the public safety of Lincoln and making sure we're fixing the streets and sidewalks in every neighborhood and maintaining the quality of life that we know and love in Lincoln.
And what are you most looking forward to tonight with the possibility of becoming the mayor of Lincoln?
Well, we're not there yet. We've got a lot of hard work still to do, but it's a nice night to be celebrating with friends and family.
Thank you so much. Now, again, these results are not final yet. Another round of results will come at 10:15. Of course, stay up to date with Channel 8 as we update you throughout the night. 4 people are without a home after an explosion inside this apartment building. I talked to 2 of the residents who lived there and were there when it happened. They said they heard the explosion in the basement, ran outside, and are thankful to be alive. The managers of the rail yard want to expand the liquor license from here inside the gates of the rail yard, from Q to R Street, all the way to right here. Rod and Megan, we're going into the 3rd hour of testimony on a bill that has the goal of increasing sales taxes to offset high property taxes. More than 60 people signed up to testify against the bill. Not nearly as many have testified in support. Opponents are pushing for spending cuts instead of sales tax increases and asking for school aid to remain the same for some of the state's biggest districts. Many more are taking a neutral stance, saying they are in favor of some parts of the bill, but not all of it. In case you weren't able to make it out today to donate, the Battle of the Badges competition will continue through August. How often do you find yourself in this situation? You're driving down the road and your eyelids start getting heavier and heavier. And no matter what you do, you just can't wake up. I'm on North Cotner Boulevard between Garland and Layton Streets. This is where the accident happened, and we now know more about that crash. The Olchen-Bruns family is starting over. A new life in a new place with new hope for the future. Hope that couldn't be kept in Nebraska no matter how hard they tried.
It became obvious when Lancaster County was making more off of our farm than we were that something needed to change.
They farmed around 1,000 acres near Ceresco for over 50 years. But as their farm operation grew, so did Nebraska's taxes. By the time they decided to get out, they had a property tax bill of $50,000 a year.
It's kind of like watching somebody blow a hole in the bottom of your boat and nobody's putting a thumb in to stop the water. You know the boat's going to sink.
Then they made a tough decision. They packed up their farm and their home and ended up here in Warrensburg, Missouri.
It takes something really profound to get a farmer to leave the land that he's bled over. The land becomes a member of the family. It's as much a member of the family as your son or your wife. You've put your life into it. Your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather have put their life into it.
His son was set to take it over to continue carrying on the legacy that land held.
Farming's in our blood, it's what we do.
But they had no option. They aren't the only farm to go. Look at this graph. According to the USDA, in the last 5 years, the number of farms in Nebraska has dropped significantly. Nebraska has the 7th highest property tax rate in the U.S. at an average of 1.83% of the value of your land. Fritz ties the problem back to the unicameral and rural representatives being outnumbered by urban representatives.
They're just piling on ag, and with low commodity prices and high input costs, coupled with these insane property taxes, there isn't any money left. Nebraska's building their economy on a house of cards.
In Missouri, their situation is very different. They've gone from paying $50,000 in property taxes to less than $1,500, and they own more land.
Yeah, it's glorious.
As far as being here, I think one of the first things we noticed was the feeling of just freedom. Freedom from giving away everything we produce to the government. And I would say to all of the farmers that are going to watch this, whether you're talking about Missouri or the Dakotas, Minnesota, Kansas, Oklahoma, wherever, until the unicameral cleans up their act on the tax situation, you are better in any one of those states than you are in Nebraska. Get out, or force them to change.
Fritz said he would stand up and fight himself if he wasn't toward the end of his career, hoping to build a new history for his family.
Isn't that the dream we all have? A legacy? A history? We had that in Nebraska. We had to forfeit it. So, here we are.
Here they are in Missouri, a new state, a new life, but following the same dream.
Point is, we're doing what we love to do, what we've always done, and we found greener pastures.
Overflowing rivers, chaos across Nebraska has caused historic destruction to bridges, roads, buildings, and lives.
Woke up and then there's water everywhere.
Barbara Schoonover looked out of her Monroe door yesterday and saw nothing but water. She was stuck. So today when Nebraska Task Force 1 came to her door, she was hesitant but hopeful.
The rescuers talked me into getting in their little boat and coming to safety, and I'm so glad that they did.
She and her 2 dogs were brought to safety by members of the Lincoln-based task force. They fought freezing waters, fast currents to get to Columbus area residents like Barbara. 5 people were trapped in homes near Monroe.
Some of the residents have chosen not to evacuate. However, we are in the process of bringing 2 people out that needed to be rescued from their home.
They got Barbara and her dogs out by boat, but the wind and water proved too much for their boats, and they had to call in a helicopter to rescue 4 more people. One of those waiting on the other side of the water was Tanya Pfeffer's mom.
Surrounded by water, and the road is washed out both directions from their home.
She paced back and forth on this broken road for more than an hour, waiting for this message.
The 3rd passenger at the 2nd location on board.
Her mom, stepdad, and his elderly mother landed safely in Columbus, and they're thankful.
Thank you. Their efforts are not recognized enough. I mean, they're risking their lives every day for innocent bystanders, for people that try and wait it out, that didn't anticipate the waters to rise this high. But thank you.
Thankful for the men and women who've risked their lives to save others, who are, for the first time in a long time, making these rescues inside their home state.
We're just thankful we can do it at home. You know, Nebraska's what's on our door. That's why we're here. That's who we're here for. We'll go wherever the country needs us, but it's even more rewarding when we can do it to our neighbors and our community.
Making rescues, saving lives, and much like the rivers rushing through Nebraska, changing the course of history.
I told them very much thank you for all their time, all their effort, and actually talking me into getting in that boat and coming to safety.
In Columbus, Bayley Bischof, Channel 8 Eyewitness News. Rod and Megan, every truckload of supplies heading into flooded towns means the world to survivors, but one that arrived today comes from a city Nebraska helped not too long ago. Case of water after case of water, box after box, pallet after pallet, with love from Houston.
People in Nebraska helped us, and you know, when I was up here last week when all of this happened, and I seen the flooding going on, I thought to myself, we need to return the favor.
2 years ago, Adam Stringer, a truck driver, was stranded in Bellevue when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, his hometown, and the interstates into the city were shut down.
Once they opened up the interstates, I told my wife I wasn't going to come home empty. I will buy water or something and bring it back.
He contacted a church in Bellevue, and in less than 12 hours, his semi was packed with supplies for Hurricane Harvey survivors.
Ended up in an area where everybody lost their homes and were living in hotels, and you know, it really helped a lot of people for a while.
So now he and Houston residents are doing the same for Nebraska's flood victims.
I don't know if I want to cry or smile or both, because You know, it's just everybody coming together from all walks of life.
His truck arrived with a load Thursday, every item donated by someone states away. And dozens of Nebraskans met Adam with open arms at the Life Church in Lincoln, ready to unload the supplies so they can go where they're needed most.
They just unloaded this whole trailer in, 28 minutes.
The supplies are being stored at the church for now, but will be funneled to Fremont and other areas affected by flooding.
I hope it'll give them a sense of, hey, somebody cares. You know, we're here for you, we're your neighbors, and we're going to be here through the duration.
Houston and Nebraska.
It's going to be all right. It's going to work out.
Hand in hand.
It's going to be a long, hard road, but it's really going to work out.
Healing together. Jamie had a fairly normal pregnancy aside from a little concern about high blood pressure. Now, just a few months after her babies were born, her heart is literally running on batteries as she awaits a transplant. Jamie Leishman never had any heart problems. She was healthy.
Yep.
Then in October, she gave birth to twins Aviana and Liam. Her life has been hanging on a thread ever since.
You know, being told that I possibly not understanding anything that was going along with it, that I might not be there for them, and that I could potentially leave my husband, you know, a single father of 3, you know, children under 3, and that terrified me.
She was diagnosed with peripartum cardiomyopathy after giving birth. It's a type of heart failure that comes on during or after a pregnancy.
The disease itself can happen at 1 in every 1,000 births.
The symptoms started a few days after the twins were born.
I was excited, and then I was just, you know, I wouldn't say mad, you know, or angry, but it was sad, because it's like you want to be happy, you know, that you have these 2 new lives in your life, and then now your wife can't enjoy it, and you can't enjoy it as parents.
Even when she's home, she's unable to really be a mom.
We love you, we miss you. Just, it was devastating. It was being in your own home, wanting to, the maternal instinct to go to your crying babies.
And her life won't be the same again unless she gets a new heart.
It could be a couple of years. These are the batteries.
For now, she's running on batteries with a device called an LVAD.
It's a device that's implanted alongside the heart, which pulls blood out of the heart and pumps it to the rest of the body, kind of augmenting what the heart's already doing.
It's allowing her to go home.
There seems to be a little light at the end of the tunnel for her as far as becoming a mommy again.
To reunite with the twins and 2-year-old Caleb, who's only been able to visit his mom in the hospital 3 times.
Reading a book.
But her journey to fully recovering is only just beginning, and she wants to raise awareness for peripartum cardiomyopathy, a disease that can affect any new mom anytime.
If you have family or friends that are pregnant, or if you're of childbearing age, or, you know, read up on it, be aware of it, ask your OB about it.
A Lincoln mom who also nearly lost her life to this disease started a nonprofit right here in Lincoln. She has resources for prevention, early detection, and for support. We have more information on her website and a link to a GoFundMe for the Leishman family on our website, klkntv.com.